It is here almost. Campbell County and Halls on the WLAF Thorles Tire Shop Sports Network. Thanks for connecting for Campbell football tonight. Coach Justin Price, game one, ready to go, looks like.
Yeah, it's an exciting time of the year. You know, it's something you look forward to every season. And, you know, I think there's and every year almost kind of feels the same. There's so many question marks you go into a game with, and then there's things that you're confident in. But at the end of the day, until you go out there and you go play, you kind of don't. You think you have an identity for your team, but you slowly start developing it week one.
Well, this is game one. Is this the most difficult game to prepare for because of being game one?
It is. I think it's not necessarily the opponent as much as your own team. Gotcha. You know, again, we've seen ourselves in scrimmages, and we feel like we've identified some strengths and some weaknesses, and, you know, let's make sure we capitalize on those strengths. Let's hide these weaknesses or improve on them. But at the same time, you know, there's still some question marks that you got to find out about your team, and so, you know, week one you'll probably find some things that maybe you weren't think you were good at that you play really well on, and then some that you thought you were good, maybe you weren't. So but it's an exciting game. You know, there's so much hope and hype going into these first games all over the state of Tennessee, and, you know, we're fortunate enough to be one of the first ones to kick off.
Well, it's going to be fun tonight, Coach. We appreciate you taking time for us today. Take us through this team. Let's start with special teams, your kicking game. Take us maybe kind of break down how this is going to shape up this first game.
Yes, we got two kickers right now, and Rylan Sanders and Nathan Maskill done a really good job of working to improve field goals and kickoffs. And so, you know, that's something that you know, that we always try to improve on every year, we feel like. But, you know, that we've done really well on field goal, that's points on the board. Kickoff, we try to simulate it at practice, but, you know, that first time, you know, the coverage needs to be there. Landon Hensley's handling the punting duties. So, you know, we're confident in what he can do. You know, he's used to being having the football in his hands, so he's a really good punter. So, you know, the big thing about special teams, you want to eliminate big plays, and so that's what we'll try to do, and eliminate the big plays. And then if we have a chance to have a big play on special teams, let's try to capitalize on that.
How challenging is that for the opponent to look over there and see your quarterback getting ready to punt? That has to be maybe kind of a scary situation, certain situations.
Yeah, you know, it allows us to be pretty dynamic in how we're going to punt. You know, we can, you know, leave our offense out there and punt. We can, you know, go to our actual punt team, and obviously your ability to fake it is very high. So we'll try to put some pressure on the other teams.
Maybe any pooch punts in the playbook this year?
Yeah, well, hopefully we're not in that situation where we're third and long, so we have to do that. But you know, you know, you'll see we've got the ability to punt out of our regular offense, which I think is going to be something new for us that we haven't done. But I think also it's going to allow us to be in a good position as far as our punting goes.
Now, about your return game with this kicking game, some changes there obviously for this season.
Yeah, Timmy Gibson, sophomore receiver for us, is back on punt returns, and then we got a couple players back on kickoffs, obviously depending on where they're kicking and who'll get it. But you know, we're confident those guys. Again, the big thing with special team return games, secure the football. Now, number one, let's make sure our offense is about to come on the field, and then when you have an opportunity to make a big play, let's do it. You know, Peyton Ferguson last year against Clinton had a big kickoff return, so hopefully we can have a few more of those this year.
Well, watching the spring game and some other games, it appears that maybe is Gibson your fastest Cougar?
I believe so. Yeah, he's fast. He's an explosive player, and has really improved as a receiver, and also taking advantage of his speed. Can take the top off the defense and take a short route and make somebody miss and go. So, you know, Timmy's an exciting player.
Tell us about this Cougar defense coming in tonight.
So we've probably more changes on defense than we've had in, I think, this year 13 for me. So we've always been an odd front 3-4 defense. We're transitioning to a 4-2 look on defense. We feel pretty good about it, and we're going to be a little more aggressive out of that look. So probably see a little bit more blitzes and more you know, some linemen defensive ends dropping in coverage. And so, you know, we feel like it's just something we're going to change up a little bit. We're confident in it. Our players have picked up well on it. So defensively, I think there'll be times when you have to play that bend but don't break defense, and that's kind of what we've done before for the most part. But I think this year we'll try to be attacking, try to get some negative plays, especially on first down, and force them into second, third long, so that we can then kind of sit back because you probably know they're throwing, or you go after the quarterback. So it's you I'm excited about what our defense is going to look like this year.
It's Coach Justin Price visiting with us, head coach of the Campbell Cougars, as mentioned, in his 13th season. Tonight, Halls for the Cougars. Coach, how about that offense? The offensive line looking so good, your skill players.
Yeah, we're excited about our offense this year, and for that reason, when you look, number one, you start up front with our offensive line. We're experienced up there. We're strong. The football IQ up front's very high for us. It's encouraging the way that they can communicate up front, the way that they understand defenses. Coach Kerr's done a really good job developing that in them, and now you see that we got juniors and seniors up front, and they've had a really good preseason. Our ability to run the football, their ability to protect Landon, is something that we're excited about. Then obviously you go to the next level is Landon Hensley, who's probably one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Tennessee. Phenomenal year as a sophomore, 3,200 yards, 39 touchdowns, and all-state team. So obviously we're very confident in Landon and what he can do, and to watch how he's taken what he did last year and improved himself. He's a much better version of Landon Hensley than he was last year, which is sometimes hard to believe as good as he played, but he's improved in a lot of areas. Obviously, there's areas he still can get better at, and he knows that, but he's going to be exciting to watch this year.
How well is your running game going to help you this season?
It's going to be huge because I think, sometimes last year or just the perception of us, we like to throw it so much. Sometimes you get that light box where there are only 5 defenders in there. And when there's only 5 defenders in the box, you got to be able to run the football. And I think that's something that we've done this preseason really well. When we've had a light box, we're able to not just 3, 4, or 5 yards. It's been 10, 12, 15, sometimes bigger gains. And a lot of that's what the running backs are running, understanding blocks and hugging down blocks and following their lead blockers. And so it's been a collective effort, but I think it's going to make us more dynamic on offense, which in turn is going to make us tougher to defend.
Coach, how about the concerns tonight for Halls? What are some of your thoughts about the Red Devils and what little I guess you know at this point with no games yet?
Yeah, we don't know much about them. We've exchanged scrimmages with Coach Hughes, and so we've they have a really good nose guard, and they run a 3-4 defense. So that a lot of pressure on our center, Robert Kirby, and so. He's got a challenge in front of him tonight. They got a good outside linebacker, number 7. That's a good player. Offensive line, I think, seems to be kind of their strength. They've got some players returning up there. Quarterback's a sophomore. I think he started some and played quite a bit. Either started or played some as a freshman. So I think the Halls football program is excited about him as a quarterback. So it's obviously early on we'll kind of see what their strengths are and what they're trying to do to attack us. But, definitely Hall's a good football team.
Well, Coach, we wish you well tonight. Hope you have fun. We'll see you after the game.
All right, Jim, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, as always, head coach Justin Price. The Cougars ready to tee it up in just moments against Halls here on the WLAF Tires Shop Sports Network.